Authentic Verdict is a movement that helps motivate people to launch and start their businesses. Whether your business is big or small, or you're just looking for motivation, this podcast is for you. We chat to inspiring founders from e-commerce, blogging, local, service, and product-based businesses about the fist-pumping moments and then the dark days that you just want to give up. No two businesses are the same, however, delving into the authentic verdict of what works, what doesn't, and how to cultivate that crazy mind of yours can help set you on your way. I'm your host, Katie Eels, co-founder of online sustainable skincare store, Sabbia Co. Hello and welcome, guys. We have decided to do something a little bit different. Welcome to our podcast. This is not a Sabbia Co podcast. This is yet to be named, but it is a podcast talking about startup business, sustainability, skincare, and kind of the ups and downs and the honest truths of starting a business with your partner, which is why I have the lovely Dave, who has surprised me quite pleasantly this afternoon with a shaved head.
It's a new headwear that I'm rocking as of late.
If anyone knows, when I first met Dave, he had long, beautiful curly hair down to his shoulders and a man bun, and now I've been stumped with this.
But hey, times are changing and you got to keep updated with the latest fashions, and now it's the prison look. I think I'm rocking it pretty good.
Anyway, let's just get straight into this. Dave, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Katie.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up to be here.
Oh, wow. I've always sort of wondered when I was going to get asked that. That's a weird thing that it's here and happening. I'm Dave. I'm 29 years old. I'm Katie's...
That's so weird to hear that you're 29.
Yeah, righto. And I'm a carpenter by trade. Have been since I was 20 years old, so nearly 10 years now. I met Katie 3.5 years ago. And since then, maybe about a year and a half into it, she started flicking ideas at me saying, let's start a business. I went, yeah, great idea. And then next thing you know it, she's throwing ideas at me. I'm like, yeah, that's great. And then the next thing I know it is she's calling people and ball's starting to roll and here we are.
Yeah.
Year and a bit later, well done, Katie. We've got a lovely little business going on. Still a very long way to go, I think. Yep. But it's been a pretty wild journey. Ups and downs, round and rounds, flips and dips. But it's all part of it. It's not like an ice cream.
It's like an ice cream. And for those of you who may be new to this and us, I'm Katie. I'm 26 years old. Dave and I are the co-founders of Sabbia, which is our first startup business. I come from a marketing background and I'm really passionate about the environment and I'm probably obsessed with skincare. So that's me, that's Dave.
Yes.
And let's just get straight into the first question, Dave. What are you manifesting and working on at the moment?
Well, I'm currently manifesting on probably getting out of the construction industry. It's not that I absolutely hate it. It's just that if I was to be successful in it, I'd need to be way more enthusiastic about it than what I actually am. So I just thought, well, I don't want to be working for someone my whole life. So hence why we started a business. And I'm manifesting just slowly separating from the construction industry, which can have a crazy hold on you because the money is pretty good just for a wage. So it's going to be a funny transition, which I'm learning about now as to moving over and helping Katie out a lot more as to learning how to talk to manufacturers and customers and
accounting
and
ads. Dave's really taken on board how to do our Facebook and Instagram ads. So he's killing that, and he's learning from a dear friend, which is amazing.
Yeah, so it's great to have the help that we've had.
Yeah.
And yeah, Katie, what are you working on and manifesting at the moment?
At the moment, I think I'm manifesting on balance, and really finding kind of peace and prosperity in harmony, which is a bit much for you to comprehend and swallow. But at the moment, like, my personality is very go, go, go. Like, I literally told Dave last week that I was thinking about starting a podcast, and then this afternoon I was like, be ready.
I don't think you told me.
I might not have.
Was driving home and she goes, are you ready for the podcast this afternoon? What podcast?
That's me. I am
a doer.
I'm a doer. I'm an Aries, and I'm a whole lot of fire, but I'm a whole lot of get shit done. And at the moment, I'm just really trying to cultivate the things that I love the most and the things that really light me up. I could go days without sleep, but I'm trying to just focus on, you know, finding that balance and feeling really peaceful within the kind of chaos that my mind of excitement is. And I'm getting there. I'm slowly getting there.
Yes.
All right, Dave, next question. Have you ever done a small business course? And if so, how did you find it? And if not, how are you feeling, just kind of going with the punches?
No, never done a small business course. I did business in grade 10 at school, and because I thought I was going to be this super successful businessman in grade 10 at school when I was 15 years old. No, that all went down the drain when I decided to be a carpenter. Not really down the drain, but I don't know. I was just lost interest in it and wanted to live my younger 20s out, which I've done, and it's been great, and I've learned a lot along the way. But now it's time to dig the heels in and get back into the business side of things, which I'm so thankful to have Katie by my side. Yeah, so that's me. Katie, have you ever done a small business course?
No, I haven't. I did study. I moved to the Gold Coast from Port Douglas straight after school to study business and marketing at Griffith University. And my personality 100% is, if I know, I know, and if it's not going to serve me, see you later. And after a couple of months at uni, I thought, fuck this, I can do it for a hell of a lot cheaper, and I can earn money instead of being on student wages. Yeah, you can have a drink. So I dropped out of uni pretty much straight away. And then I've just surrounded myself and worked with startup businesses, and, well, not startup businesses, but established businesses where they've allowed me to kind of, you know, if you put your hand up and ask and say, I want to learn, most bosses are going to allow you to take on the workload. You don't get paid for it, but you do learn a lot. And I think that I'm forever grateful for all of the shit jobs and all of the great jobs that I've had along the way, because it's really taught me, you know, how to handle myself, how to deal with manufacturers. Like, there's no short crash course for starting a startup business. And I'm just, forever grateful for the experiences that I've kind of had along the way. And I am really grateful for my parents being always, you know, teaching me to back myself, and if it feels good, go for it. And I think that's why we are here where we are, because it's felt really good for me to do what we're doing, and I'm so passionate about it. It doesn't feel like work. And yeah, no, I haven't done a short. That was a long answer.
Long answer.
All right. This is one from the Sabbia squad. Did you start the idea together, or did one of you start it and the other get involved?
Well,
we kind of started it together. I mean, we came back from Sri Lanka, which is the fire in our belly. Like, we saw a lot of single-use rubbish over there. And we came home and we thought, initially we wanted to do a surf kit.
Yeah, we had a few little ideas floating around, and...
Don't take that one.
Nah, but we just came to a few conclusions, and we went down a couple of avenues and spoke to some lawyers and some other people, and we just thought, well, no, that's not a good idea, which is good. You can't know, what do they say? No venture, no gain.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a failure. It's just
a learning
an
thing.
open door to another
Yeah.
area.
Well, I'm glad when we didn't throw too much money at those ideas to start up with. It was just you got to see what's out there and have a look and.
I mean, our initial idea, honestly, was we came back from Sri Lanka and we knew we wanted to do something that was going to help the environment. But I think a friend of mine had just done the Amazon crash course and sent us a bunch of videos, and these people were like, yo, I'm making like, you do an American accent. I'm shit at accents.
Yo, no, that's not it. Come and make 10 grand. Oh,
What accent is that? Oh my goodness.
I'm on the spot.
South African accent.
Nah, I'm on the spot. I need 40 more drinks.
Dave does a really great South African accent.
But no, make 100 grand in a week.
While you're sleeping.
While you're sleeping.
Not that we're like here for money, but at the end of the day, like, do you really, like, are you going to put yourself out there and spend a fortune on creating a product if you don't want to see some type of revenue? Like, we want to be able to pay ourselves a wage and we want to be able to live comfortably. We don't want a Land Rover and all that shit. You know, we just want to be able to go camping and surfing
and not work
for someone else. We want to work for ourselves, and that's why we're doing what we're doing.
The 9 to 5. Well, it's the 6 till 5.
Poor Dave gets up at 4:30 and doesn't get home till 5:30.
I'm sure I'm not the only one, but that's what we're trying to get out of that little rut. Yes.
So yeah, we did start like kind of chatting about ideas together, and then when the surf kit had too much plastic in it, I started to think of like things in my bathroom that I was swapping out for more sustainable options. I came across a bunch of tools that I really loved, and then I thought, you know, no one's really making like a face kit or like a go-to sustainable skincare tool kit. I think there's like a big difference between like there's the eco warriors or there's just the everyday girl that wants something that looks nice on her bathroom shelf, and we really wanted to kind of bridge that gap. And I feel like with, you know, our Luxe packaging and marketing that we really have been able to make that average Luxe girl, not average, I mean like just the normal Luxe girl that is buying for aesthetics, she loves the look of our product because it is beautiful. And the Eco Warrior is also really happy because it's glass packaging and it's black, which means that you can get it dirty and take off makeup 1,000 times and it's still going to look really great. Whereas the white ones, you know, kind of look a little bit like shit after a while. So yeah, the long and short of it was kind of, we started the whole concept together. I kind of started to go down the beauty route and pick up like, you know, the tools, and then every decision that we make along the way is definitely a conversation between the two of us. I come home and ask for approval from my accountant if I can have money to do this or that. And
she's got some crazy ideas.
And a lot of the times Dave says, I don't know if that's right, darling. Like,
yeah, you got to venture into it for a little bit before you go full
There's been
Willie Nelson.
So many ideas that I've like fully done packaging, like have the order ready to pay. And Dave's like, Katie, I don't think that's right. And then I haven't done it, and I've been so thankful. Remember the soap? I was going to do soap berries for a bit.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. But anyway.
So I would say that we really did come up with a concept together. There's areas of the business that I really developed, like probably R&D and product development is more me because I'm really fascinated by skincare. I'm studying cosmetic chemistry. But Dave is 100% involved in every decision that we make. Tips to starting a sustainable business.
Research.
Lots of research and
Lots
testing.
of research. A few things that we could have gone down the path of, which could have been very profitable, I guess, weren't, you know,
great for the environment.
Yeah. So, and that just would have been against what the whole thing why we started it. So,
yeah.
Also, what's the word where you keep pushing through?
You say keep pushing through.
You just keep pushing through. Yeah, you're gonna, like at the beginning, we had a huge hold up and we almost just
Man.
oh.
We'll get to that in a little bit. That's kind of like further down the questions. But I guess my biggest tip for starting a sustainable business is do your research and just partner with manufacturers that you have a really honest relationship with. And if you come up with a sustainable product, don't just focus on the concept of the product. Take that to the whole business. Like, what are you going to package it in? How are you going to post it to your customers? What influencers are you going to work with? So for instance, for us, we have biodegradable packaging. Every single business in our, business decision in our business has a factor of how will that impact the environment. And even when it comes down to picking influencers that we work with, we really want to make sure that they are kind of conscious about the environment. They're not, it is keeping that brand authenticity, and also that comes down to every move that you make in your business. And if you are truly in your heart passionate about sustainability, it costs a lot. Like, it costs a lot more to pick a sustainable packaging product than just a normal plastic pack product. And we could have easily gotten swept up with, that will lower the cost of our product if we just put it in a cardboard box. But no, we pay, 10 to 20 cents extra for every single box to make sure that it's recycled packaging. And then for our mailing bags, we pay fucking a small fortune to have biodegradable bags instead of plastic. But it means a lot to us, and we know that we aren't just building up that pile of consumer shit in landfill. And that's, it's what we're about. So if you are going to start a sustainable business, make sure that you're in it with your heart. Don't just, call the bullshit and say, I'm bringing out a sustainable product and have plastic packaging and all the rest of it, follow through. Business and relationship hats. This is a question from the Sabbia squad. How do you do it, and is there a boss? Dave, tell us.
There's definitely a boss. Can you guess who it is? Well, yes, look, Katie's definitely the engine behind everything. But she is like a raccoon that's found some Adderall and just going mental. And now and then I've got to turn the hose on it. Just simmer down.
Oh my God, Dave always tells me to simmer down. It fucking kills me. Because I am like a fire up. Like, I don't know how many times a day I say fire up. And Dave's, when it's, 8:30, because we go to bed at 8:30, and he's telling me to simmer down.
I say fire up to fire myself up. But anyway, relationship tips in business for me is you got to talk it out. If you're having disagreements, you can't hold a little grudge. The sooner you talk about your little disagreement, and this probably relates into relationship stuff as well, is I've learnt that if I was upset with Katie about something, I'd probably I was pretty used to just bottling it up and leaving it for a couple of days.
Have a little nap on the couch.
But whereas Katie's the complete opposite, she's straight into it, knuckle it out. And that's the same with if you're talking about have a disagreement in the business or whatever.
Yeah.
That's important to get it over just so you can move on to the next thing. And also I'd say is you got to choose your business talk time and your relationship talk time.
Which is something that we are honestly still trying to find our groove with.
Can't get it right.
It's so hard because Dave does work a very labour-intensive job all day, so he's not really on his phone for me to be able to chat. We are kind of moving into the phase of you call me on your half an hour drive home and I kind of just give word vomit about the business and all the business things I can. And we're trying to move to a space that, we have a shower together, and after that shower, it's no more business, it's just us. But it's not perfect, and I don't think it ever will be. I think that for people who have a goal of these hats that they can take on and off, like, it's very unrealistic. Emails pop up at any time of the day, situations pop up all the time, and you just need to be able to have honest communication, you need to understand how you can communicate better with each other too, which is something that I think that we're getting, you know, a lot better with. This is Dave's first relationship as well, which is like that's been a big test on me as well, if we're honest. Like, I've been in a long-term relationship, like my high school, it's not a serious relationship, but a high school love that was like 6 years. So you kind of grow and learn how to communicate with each other as you grow. Whereas for Dave and I, we met and I had like all my kind of relationship rule book that worked in the past, and then meeting Dave, and
I had no book at all.
He's a little EOS bandit, so
hey, let's not go down that path. But
yeah, like, it's just honest communication, you know, like, we're 100% not perfect, but the one thing that always kind of brings us back to the core is that we have a fucking good time together and we laugh a lot. And if I'm tired...
Katie nearly wets herself every time she gets into bed. I don't know why. She gets the giggles.
No, I get the giggles.
When we get into bed.
But it's like, yeah, it's just figuring out your groove, picking your times, and always respecting each other. Like, Dave knows when I'm having a really shit time because of something that's happened within the business, and sometimes I just need to talk it out and I need to cry, and it might not be the scheduled time that we have for business chat. But, you know, it's...
Yeah, you've got to knuckle it out.
And I think it will on flow too, you know, with staffing. We've just hired our first staff member, which...
Go, Chloe.
Yeah, big shout out to Clo Dog. What a ledge. But, you know, like, I can't do confrontation negatively. I can only really do it with Dave and my parents because they're in my inner circle. But when it comes to, like, external people, I really struggle and I fucking cave and melt. Whereas Dave is really, really great when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, you know, I don't know where I was going with that, but...
It's all right. Our markets? Is that like an example?
Yeah, go for it. Tell us what you mean.
Oh, well, I sort of... You're out of wine.
I'm out of wine.
No, but we had a crack at doing the markets. And...
oh, yeah, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, and Katie was all pumped up and she's like, are you going to do good or what? I said, I don't know. We'll see how we go. And push came to shove. We snapped actually this table here that I built. There's a bit of a drama behind that one as well, but we put that in the car, and the first thing we pulled out of the car at bloody 6:30 in the morning, snapped the legs off it, and it was just like worst case scenario of your first time at the markets.
Table.
Yeah. So what did we do? We compromised.
Oh, we took two of our bar stools. This is like a bar-sized table. But stools that we're sitting on now, and we sat it on them. Anyway, problem solved, done. And it just came time to there's people walking past and they don't, you know, if they haven't seen your brand before, they're not going to walk in and just buy. Yeah, and I think
stuff.
For me, like, I'm really great with people and talking to people, but trying to sell things to people I don't know is not something I can do. So for me, the whole thing just felt so wrong. As soon as I got there, I was like, I can't ask random Sally walking past to come and try my shit. I melted. I literally went for like a 40-minute walk and just said to Dave, good luck.
And I thought, well, hey, you know, we've paid some money for this market, so I'm going to get some bloody sales. Yeah. And so that was well into it, where I sort of was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to go and talk to people. And I was like, hey, have you seen this before? People were like, you could tell they're just like, oh, mate, just leave me alone. But I'll come in and have a look, and they're like, oh, yeah, wow, your products are quite cool. And got a few sales, got it over the line.
Yeah, every time I came back from a walk, Dave was like, I've just got 3 sales. I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, so it was more so a me of like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to talk to these people. I've got nothing to lose, but more to gain. You know, they might walk away and say, oh, that bloke was talking shit. Or they might buy some products. So I'd rather the latter one, the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, if that's a thing that you're thinking about with your business, Although like the experience wasn't as amazing as we thought it was going to be, we met a lot of customers, which was the most humbling part of the whole experience. Like a lot of people walking past saying, well, that's Sabbia, or if we'd talk to them, they'd be like, oh yeah, I already have your product. Remember that older lady, and she came in and said hello, and she'd gotten it for a Christmas present?
Oh yeah, that's right.
And we were just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How did you find us?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like if you're a local business, any marketing is good marketing. Don't always focus on the ROI, which is return on investment. Sometimes it's just a community building experiment. Sometimes it's just a branding experiment. And for us, it was, we made better sales online than we did that day at the markets. But it was the most beautiful experience to meet our actual customers and for them to then go, oh, I didn't know you were actually in Burleigh. Can I come and pick up products from the warehouse instead of paying shipping? And things like that. And now those customers come and pick up products from the warehouse, and I see them and I get to meet them and they see what we do and they come into the warehouse. And for them, it's just such a beautiful experience. And for me, it's like I'm fangirling them. They think that it's the other way around, but I'm so excited to meet our customers. And it is just like a kind of breaks down that wall. Like I think with on Instagram and online startup businesses, there's such a wall between consumer and owner. And whereas if you go into like a grocery store, like a local fruit market or something, for example, you see old mate who owns it and you get to know him if you're going every week. Whereas online, you could purchase every week and you have no idea who is packing your orders, who owns the company. And for us, that's something that we're really trying to break down that wall, is why we jump on stories and be fucking awkward and kooky. It's why we're starting this podcast. It's because we want to break down that wall between consumer and owner. There shouldn't be a wall. Like there shouldn't be anything to hide. We want to get to know you and your needs just as much as you want to get to know how to use the product and what the whole purpose of the business is.
Yes, yeah. I agree. 100%.
Any input on that?
Well, no, you're right. It'd be a total. If I was looking from the outside in, I'd be like, to see if it was if I was to go, for instance, if I was to go and buy a pair of board shorts from a brand, and to see, the owner of Billabong jumping on a podcast and talking about it, it'd be cool, I reckon, to see their insight and to see, why I'm buying this product and where it's going and who's around it all. It'd be quite interesting, I think.
Yeah.
So you just never see it. So that's why we're going down this path. We are. We are.
Yeah, and I think we're both massive people persons.
People persons, yeah.
What is that? People persons? Let's go people persons.
People.
So engagement for us is not like a statistic on Instagram to get us out there more. Engagement to us means like having a conversation, knowing you, getting to know you. And I think that's the whole reason why we really enjoy jumping on Instagram and doing our fucking weird videos that we do. And it's why one of my favorite jobs is talking to our customers on Instagram or on email about their skin concerns or what they think of the products. I actually love it so much. It's the reason why, we're out there. We're building the Sabbia Squad, which is what we have created a hashtag for our business, isn't about, it's not like an exclusive, you want to get to a point where you're in the Sabbia Squad. Sabbia Squad is you consider following our page and you want to learn a little bit about sustainability, a little bit about skincare. Maybe you want to learn a little bit about a startup business. You're fucking in.
You're in.
We want to know you.
Get in.
We want to chat. I have had how many weird business calls? I have had over 15 weird business calls with people who have seen us on Instagram and messaged me and said, hey, Katie, I want to start a business. Can you give me a tip? And I've said, fuck yeah, I'll ring you on Tuesday at 10 a.m. And I'm on the phone for 2 hours with them. And now it's kind of offshooted, which is the reason why I'm starting this podcast, is because I really love engaging with people and helping them start their startup. We're not a couple that look at our business and say, we don't want any competitors. We look at anyone else that starts a sustainable business and think like, fuck yeah, join the crew. Let's make a difference. Like, we're really not competitive people. And that's why I want to share the tips and tricks. I want everyone to be able to live the life that they want. And I also want everyone that has a sustainable business idea to be able to get it out there and to make a difference.
And it'd just be the start of a huge change.
Massive change, and it's so needed.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, all the plastic and everything that's getting put in the world and pollution is all profit based.
And then it ends up in our bodies. Like, yes, it's sad that it is in the environment. Yes, it's sad that it's in animals' bellies. But at the end of the day, it ends up in our bodies, and then it ends up in our children's bodies, and that's just fucked up. Like,
something not right there.
Not right. Anyway, next question is from one of our lovely wholesalers, and it is, how do you switch off? Dave has no problem with this.
I have no problem switching off. I'm not a deep sleeper.
No, you're not.
I'm not.
Yeah, but you can get to sleep.
But I can get to sleep. I'm more so... I can just completely think about something else. It's if I can get on a... I pretend that I'm in another situation, whether it's like... what would I do on a surf trip if my mate went over the falls and had needed emergency paddle out session? Just I go through this crazy weird scenario in my head. Katie will often see me daydreaming. She go, "What are you thinking about?" My mate going over the falls.
I've never heard that that's what you're thinking about, so that's quite interesting to know.
And then before you know it, I'm just
tired.
Counting sheep.
You're tired from the emergency rescue.
Yeah. So that's my little tip that I do. I just put myself in a whole another situation to the situation that I was. That's get it done. Yeah.
Nice.
Katie, you?
Look, I'm still learning to
magnesium
switch off,
tablets.
let's be fucking honest. A couple of, maybe like 6 months ago, Dave's dad... Why did your dad have like extra magnesium?
Well, because I had real sore.
That's
I was
right.
super sore from work and back. And
he gave us these magnesium tablets. And I'm like, I love fucking enhancing things. That sounds weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I love taking vitamins. I love putting good shit on my skin. I just think, like, if you're not in it, you're not going to win it.
That's right.
And he gave us magnesium and Dave was taking it. And I was like, I'll have some magnesium. It's got to be good for my body.
Zunkya.
I had the best sleep of my entire life.
Of your career.
My career. I'm a very light sleeper. So for me, it's 2 magnesium. And before bed, I have 1, doesn't matter. What is that even called? I think it's a podcast. I have this weird podcast that I've listened to for honestly like 8 years.
Yeah, YouTube.
It's like it's meditation.
Go
do it.
It's
welcome to Oasis Meditation.
Yeah, and every time it gets to this point, I don't know how. You haven't listened to it for a while. You've been pretty good.
I listened to it last week. You're obviously daydreaming about someone going over the falls.
There you go. But it gets to this point where she goes, and relax your mind.
Yeah, she's American.
Whatever happens. Forgotten what she says.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter. It's probably about 30 seconds into it. I'm just out to it. I always ask her, what happens after doesn't matter?
You don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Anyway, if you want to know about that podcast, it's really great. I've listened to it for years and years and years. But something that I've moved on to after that is I'm really big into my manifesting. And if I'm having like a really hard time settling and Dave's asleep, I just focus on the inhale and the exhale. And on my inhale, I say I breathe in positivity. On the exhale, I breathe out negativity. And then as I kind of like settle myself into sleep, I will often manifest for the next day and say, I'm going to have a really deep sleep. It's so that I can wake up in the morning. I'm going to fuel my body with really beautiful food. I'm going to strengthen my body with movement. And then I'm going to strengthen my mind with education. And I'm going to do whatever the next day is. So for me, like if I am a little bit too in my head and I've got a lot on my mind, I really focus on harnessing whatever's on my mind. Like a lot of people say, forget about it and just breathe. I don't think that's true. If you can't truly forget about something if it's on your mind and you're freaking out about it. So acknowledge it and kind of focus on a plan to get rid of it or to, overcome it. So that's what I do. And in September this year, we hit our first year of business. Sabbia turned 1. Pretty exciting. Not to lie, we were fucking stoked.
Yeah.
How do you feel about being 1 year into business, and in a short summary, how, like in the past 12 months, what do you feel most proud of, and what's been the biggest lesson?
I feel the most proud of it is, I guess it's become our lives, basically. Like,
are you proud of that?
Well, I am. Well, you need to. It's consumes a lot of you.
Yeah.
And I am proud of the fact that when times got tough, we were like, nah, this is worth it.
Yeah.
And we stuck it out. Because it is, like you say, it's your little baby.
It is
and
our
if,
baby.
Yeah, if your baby's playing up, you can't just
You can't just put it up for adoption.
give it back. So that's the thing. You just gotta push through it, and I'm proud that we have to get this far. I know we've got a lot of touch wood, but we've got probably some, God knows what's going to happen, hiccups in front of us, but we're going to push through them. I'm proud of the little community Katie and I have created.
Yeah.
It is amazing to hear feedback and to talk to you guys and help you guys through your skincare and your little ways of helping the environment at the same time, which is crazy to think that we're doing that.
Yeah. It's pretty special.
Yeah. It's bizarre, but it's fun. Katie, what are you proud of?
I don't know. I did a podcast last week and I fully cried. I didn't tell you about that.
Ooh. Get the tissues.
There's so many things. And I've had red wine. Dave hates it when I drink red wine.
No.
Get super emotional.
We're going to need a towel.
It's red wine is like my girls' drink. It's when I'm with the girls and we're going to talk deep. But I think the biggest thing for me is I'm so proud of the change that we've created for the environment. To date, we've stopped probably over 9 million single-use makeup wipes from going into landfill. I don't even know how many customers. I don't know how many customers we have. That's not shit that we look at. But however many there are, I know that there is a 99% of them that have sent me a message to say thank you so much for helping me make that sustainable change. And not only am I doing better for the earth, like I'm wearing makeup for the first time. I'm so confident in my skin. That is the shit that lights me up. And that's the stuff that on the tough days where suppliers are fucking 6 weeks behind and there's this delay and that delay and a bigger company copies, we do a collaboration with them and then they copy our product after we've asked them to sign a non-disclosure statement.
Oh yeah, that happens.
That's happened 4 times and every time that it's happened, I've been like, fuck, this is too hard. I can't handle it. I'm giving up. I get a message from a customer that says you've changed my life. And I think this is what I'm here for. We're not here to make millions like some bigger companies. We're really here to change lives and to fucking help the environment. And for me, every day that we have a new customer join the Sabbia squad, and even if you're not a customer and you're just following along and learning how you can make a difference, we're so grateful for you. And then our ambassadors that are, they're not our employees, but they feel like my staff and my best friends. Like I talk to them all day, every day, and they've just created such a beautiful community for me. And to hear like girls that have struggled with acne for such a long time to switch to such an easy product and feel so good within their skin and within themselves. Like, our messaging is very self-love driven. It's not just about skincare and sustainability.
Yeah.
It's all about self-love, which is like a big aspect of who I am as a person. And it's just such a beautiful community that we've built. And then on the business side of things, I'm so proud that we've sold out of our matcha clay masks like 8 times. It's fucking ridiculous. Every time we order a new stock, we double, and I think surely this will get us to 6 months, and then, you know, a month goes by and we've sold out in 35 days, and it's so gnarly, and it's just such a proud experience. Like, we're not money driven people, but when you sell out of something, it means it's fucking good, and it's something to be proud of. And I don't think that people should have, you know, the tall poppy syndrome about talking about success. We should celebrate each other's success. And yeah, we're fucking proud to be making great products that people love. So yeah. What do you feel has been the biggest impact we've made so far?
The biggest impact would be, well, there's a few. Which one do I take? I'd say, well, I'll let you do the plastics one. But I'd say, like what Katie just said before, is giving people the, I guess, a little push to have some more self-love about themselves, and the message that we are throwing around is that, you know, you don't need all these crazy things in life, but you just need a bit of self-love, bit of confidence, bit of I've got this, bit of feel good about myself today. I'm going to go and get it, and that can change your life big time, more than any
pill or potion,
car, or yeah.
Anyway, moving right along to
Katie, what about you? What's our biggest impact?
Well, you know, we've stopped 9 million single-use makeup wipes from going into landfill, which is fucking huge. We've just launched a glass packaged skincare company range. I don't know why I said company. Which eliminates plastic. So I'm super proud of that. I'm super proud about a lot of things, obviously, but I've had red wine, so I'm not allowed to talk about them. What's been your biggest challenge so far? And I want to kind of get to the beginning of wrapping this up because we have 40 minutes.
Oh, wow. That went quick. What's been the biggest challenge so far? Biggest challenge so far is... Well, for me, it is because I'm used to doing my construction job, coming home, having some dinner, going for a surf before dinner, and then just, you know, cruising, going for the next day, getting ready for the next day. But
hey,
now,
you got to pay my wage.
Yeah, well, now it's coming home and it's work's not over. I've got to help Katie out. I've got to talk to Katie about the business. I've got to... you know, do the books, got to help out with the marketing, got to approve, basically,
all the crazy ideas that
Katie
I come up with,
and filter it all through and give my feedback, and that is a lot of information coming in. And some days Katie might just go, "Are you daydreaming, or did you just listen to me?"
Yeah.
Because it is a lot. Of information, and a lot. It's new. It's all new to me. It's all like I've never done this before. So that's been the biggest challenge, is to just coming home and not being able to chill out. It's that. I mean, it's only an hour or two extra, but it's got to be done. Yeah.
And I guess wrapping up that question, what's the best advice that you've ever been given, or the best advice that you could give to someone out there that's considering doing a startup business? On that note, we are 100% like self-funded. And I think we haven't got to touch on that, and I will touch on that on another episode. But when you invest, you know, we wanted to buy a house and then we decided to start the business. So we invested our home loan into the business, which is such a...
Our deposit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is such a... Oh, it's like a bittersweet. Like, I'm such a home... I'm Italian, so I want to have like a beautiful kitchen and home. So it is a big decision to make. And for us, like all of our friends and the people in our circle are buying houses, having babies. And sometimes we do feel left behind. And I definitely know there's days that I'm thinking like, fuck, I'm 26. My clock is clocking.
Moving.
It's moving. But, you know, like we did invest the money in our business because we wanted to make something for our children to be proud of and for us to be able to, you know, make a difference. And hopefully it pays off and we can bring our family up into this business and, you know, continue to make a big change. But I guess, yeah, what did you get any advice at the beginning, or do you have any advice for someone at the beginning that's, you know, potentially thinking of putting their home deposit into a startup dream?
I do. It is like if you're gonna do it, you got to make it your baby. Like you got to live it, breathe it. If we had have just gone if we had have, you know, put in all that money and just gone, oh, we'll only, you know, we won't do those extra hours when you get home from work. We'll just cruise. Yeah. We'll just do that. We just wouldn't have not have gotten there. So it is just, it's a tough slog, but you know, nothing's easy. So you got to, but being on wages, working for someone your whole life, doing a job you don't want to do sucks way more than a couple of extra hours after work. So it's totally worth it. That's my advice to you guys.
Yeah, and I guess my advice is if you're going to start a business, make sure it's your true passion, because you're not rocking up 9 to 5 and you're not getting paid a fucking good wage and you're not getting paid sick days or holidays. But it is 110% worth it. Every single time that I pack an order, I get such a bizarre feeling that nothing equates to it. I know that I'm going to change someone's life, and I know that I'm connecting with someone. We have orders going to like Sweden, Iran. Like there's the weirdest countries that we never thought ever possible.
Uzbekistan.
Did that happen?
I don't know.
It's
just fun to say.
But yeah, for me, I think my biggest tip to you is make sure it's like something that you're truly passionate about. Don't be in it for money, because at the beginning,
you ain't going to see it.
You don't see it. Have a vision board. For me, that has helped me a lot on the days that I feel like, why the fuck am I doing this and not on my salary? I look at that board and I look at our goals, and I look at the goals. I keep the vision boards. We do one every couple of months, and I look back and look at what we've achieved. And that's like the biggest.
That's something that I had never knew about.
Yeah.
Is that you can draw on a piece of paper where you want to be.
And it happens.
If
you put in the work, keep that in mind, because a lot of people think you can rub a crystal and look at the moon and say, I want this, and it will happen. It doesn't happen. Put in the fucking work.
Yeah.
Roll up your sleeves.
And what did our accountant say? It keeps you accountable.
Yeah,
to where you got to get to. If you don't see a ledge of where you want to be, how do you know you're going to get there?
That's 100%.
Does that make sense?
Thanks. What was one quote to finish us off. The other day we had a meeting with our accountant about moving into a bigger warehouse.
And which we're scared about. We're nervous about. Because
I was like, fuck.
Can't afford it. You know, it was scary. It was daunting.
And I called Dave on the way home and I said, do you think that we can do it? Do you think we can afford it? And Dave said...
What did I say? I said about the crab.
Yeah, you said about the crab.
Well, the accountant said it quite well. It's like if you might not be ready, you might not be able to have the stock ready for that warehouse or to fill it. It's going to look empty, but it's going to drive you to fill it up.
And tell me the crab.
Oh, the crab. That's where we're going. So it's like a hermit crab. This is what I said. It's like a hermit crab crawling out of his shell into a new shell, and he's going to grow into his new, bigger shell, better shell.
Hermit crab cannot grow if he is in the same shell.
That's right. That's what I said, hey.
And that really actually stuck. I think that's the most beautiful thing you've ever said to me.
There you go.
All right, Dave, thank you so much for being the first guest.
No worries. It's been a pleasure.
Where can we find you if we want to get to know you and your business more? Do you know our Instagram handle?
Yes.
Do you know what an Instagram handle is?
You can catch me weekly on the stories on Sabbia. But if you really would like to know, Katie can tell us where to catch us on the Instagram. You
can come and see us at Sabbia Co, which is SABBIACO, at Instagram. We hang out there the most. Dave and I both aren't big on our personal accounts. We leave it all for the business. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us on our first podcast. We're really looking forward to finding our feet and, helping you guys with your startup journeys and talking a little bit about sustainability and skincare and, all the shit that people don't really admit in a startup.
Let's knuckle it out.
Thanks, guys.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye.